have perfect execution in everything that you do. And then also from a middle school perspective, like we have kids from 7th to 12th grade. We have no idea what the 7th grader is going to look like by the time he's 18 years old, right? And so we try to preach to our kids that they've got to be able to run their own race. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know if we've had in the three years. Sorry. In the 3 years that we've had kids, I don't know if we've ever had some guy or a kid that was like the best middle school athlete ever become our best football player, to be quite honest with you. Our best football players have always just been kids who showed up every day. They were in the weight room constantly, and they really bought into the fact that, I mean, there's names I can kind of throw out. Like, for example, our best lineman this year will be Eli DeLapp, probably most, if I had to guess. And in 8th grade, Eli didn't play. Like, he was like a one play a game kind of kid.
DeLapp?
What's that?
Eli DeLapp?
Yeah. I mean, he was not a kid that was going to get in very often, and he just worked extremely hard. And there's multiple other examples, guys like Xander Stacy for us who didn't even play football until his freshman year, wanted to quit and play soccer, and then ended up being the first team all league for us. And so we really preach to them about it's a process. Don't compare yourself to others. Run your own race, and if you constantly do the right things, just little small things, right? Things like showing up on time, working hard, doing what the lift tells you to do, things of that nature, and they'll all kind of we'll compound, right? We'll compound and get to where we need to be. So those are kind of the values of what we preach to our kids on a daily basis. Is there any questions on that sort of culture thing? I know it's not necessarily. I think the big thing that we would like for us to see down there, like down with you guys, is kind of talking about these processes, maybe not, using the 3 I's, but really being, from a coaching staff standpoint, from a player standpoint, being intentional with everything that we do, and then really preaching this to the younger kids, right? Is if you just run your race, if you get better every single day at really small things, you'll eventually become a really good football player. And so getting them to buy into being part of the team from this standpoint is really helpful, I think. So all good? All right, offensively, we'll start. Is that all right with you? All right. So from a base formation standpoint, and I know if anybody has questions, and I'm left-handed too, so
Yeah, I'm with that.
I just screwed the whole thing up there. But
That was actually my fault.
anybody have questions, let me know. All right. So from a base formation standpoint, we're really going to work out of 3 formations. We'll have an empty formation, but it'll look a little bit different than what we have in the past. But we will be pretty much gun T. If a D coordinator looked at us, they would say that we are gun T. Okay, so our base formation is going to be rocket and laser. Other teams call it red and blue or right and left, whatever it may be. But our tight end, I guess I should back up here. Okay. From a line perspective, we are going to flip our line. All right, so. And the reason why we flip our line is because it allows our kids to, in the past, we've been a zone stretch zone team, okay? And so we've asked them to combo, we've asked them to scoop, we've asked them to reach, we've asked them to base, we've asked them to pull and kick on counter, we've asked them to do all these different blocks, right? 7, 8 different schemes. And so what we're doing is we're simplifying the whole thing. And by flipping our line, we're gonna be able to teach our kids how to block 2 different schemes, and that's the entire offense, okay? And so this is talking about how to relay this from a high school perspective down to the youth perspective. I think it can be relatable pretty quickly, okay? And so we'll have in rocket, so obviously that's right, so we'll have our strong guard here, our strong tackle, our tight end is our Y, our H is our wing, okay? And we'll play around with this kid a little bit. Sometimes he's more of like, your 12 personnel type of kid where he's a fullback and he's down and on buck, but other times he might be more of a Percy Harvin type guy so that we can run jet with and we can RPO game off of him too, okay? We'll have our quick guard and our quick tackle on the backside. Our quarterback skills are always at 5, tailbacks 2x2. Our X is on the line always. Our Z receivers off the line split the difference, okay? If this is the middle of the field, I guess, this is the middle of the field here, okay? We're gonna be at the top of the numbers there, and then we're gonna basically be on the hash. That would be about where we're at as far as splitting the difference, okay? Obviously, your guys' splits will look a lot different than ours because I don't know how many kids are throwing a bubble screen out to the boundary, or out to the hash, but we'll see. Alright, so from a run game standpoint, so this is Rocket. Alright, we'll start there. We're gonna teach our kids up front buck, and we're gonna teach them belly. Right? Buck, we're always gonna run to the strong side. Okay, so it's always gonna be buck strong. And so, from that standpoint, here are the rules. Everything's rule-based in our system. Okay? This triangle here, from our strong tackle to our Y to our H, right there, okay? Those 3 guys, they're working gap down backer. Okay, this is your old school. I'm responsible for my inside gap to my down to the backer. And I'll draw up a defense here soon. Chuck, what do you guys usually see? 50?
50 and 4-4s.
4-4 country cover 3? Okay, let's go. All right, we'll just draw up. What do you want me to start with? 5 front or
5 front.
5 front. Okay. All right. So say they're giving us a 9. I don't know.
2 3s and 0.
2 3s and a 0. You think a better one?
Maybe 4 eyes. It just depends on what they do.
Are you wanting to run a 5 front?
Yeah.
This cat, either a 4-eye or I'm sorry, a 4. See, I always get that.
He's normally gap.
He's gap, so he's
Yeah.
kind of somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Big
We
gap.
see a lot of teams lined up in the gap.
Okay, alright, so we'll give you some Miami East with that. Alright, so from this standpoint, alright, these 3 are working in tandem. They're gap down backers. So this strong tackle, there's somebody in his B gap, so he's down right away. He knows that, okay? Every single one of these 3 here, okay? They're going to take a flat 90-degree step. They're going to punch at the V of the neck. So flat step, punch the V of the neck, get the head across. That second step's got to be in the ground quickly on a 45-degree angle. His right hand, if he's on the right side, his right hand is going to attack the back hip of the defender, okay? Anytime you're teaching up front, we've got to attack hips. You can't move without your hip, okay? And so when you attack a hip and we get movement off of that back hip, you're going to move him, all right? And so that's how we teach it. Flat step, 45, attack the back hip with the head across, and we're downing. He's going to work with you, gap down backer. If they slant, he'll obviously be, that'll become his down, but he doesn't have anybody in his gap, so he's going to work back. And same with this guy, okay? Some teams will give us this in a 9. We're actually going to down him at your level, and sometimes, believe it or not, at our level. Okay? They'll have this like stand-up backer here. It's all the way up here. Okay? We'll basically just have him work completely up to the backer again. That becomes our kick guy. That's our force player. All right. Strong guard's going to skip pull, so he's going to skip, and he's going to work vertical. All right. A lot of guys, right, like back in the day, you see Vincent Barty run buck sweep. Okay? They're pulling the lawnmower, and they're down the line, and they're getting out and all that kind of stuff. We actually are going to skip pull, so we're basically skipping here with our shoulders square, and we teach our guys actually to work vertical because, especially if this guy is a spill team, we want to kind of coach our kids for the worst case scenario. So he can't get spilled. So if he gets a wrong arm from this kid and he's vertical, he's going to have a better time of getting him kicked out. Okay? If they're a box team, then they do our jobs for us pretty much. But he's going to work vertical. He's going to get his backside shoulder. Okay? So if he's going right, he's going to take his right shoulder and get to the front hip of the defender and kick him up, kick him out here. We've got to get a clean kick. This has got to be your second best lineman. Okay, most traditionally. Okay, he's got to be able to move well enough to get that kick, and then he cannot get his butt kicked on that.
Are you looking for more speed or more ability?
It depends on who you have. From a high school perspective, he's gonna be our bigger athlete. So he's still gonna be able to run probably, his 40 would be in the 5'1", 5'2" range. But he's gonna be about 230 pounds. This kid is gonna be more of your athlete. So, you think like early 2000s, 90s, he would be your fullback in the eye. Well, now he's our quick guard. Because what he's gonna do, the center's responsible for the A gap, so the front side A gap, back. Okay, so if he gets a 0, he's gonna reach that. And then the quick guard is gonna skip pull at the same time, and he's gonna wrap. Okay, traditionally what will happen is he's gonna wrap for Mike. He'll wrap for that guy right there. Okay, so he's gonna skip pull, he's gonna wrap first open window, right? He's really just following the butt of the strong guard. Once we get that clean kick, he goes right off his butt, and he's wrapping here, okay? Quick tackle, he's always gonna be responsible for the scoop on the backside. Alright, and so from a perspective of teaching kids, simple blocks, okay, and simple ways to do this. No matter what formation we're in, our strong tackle, our Y, sometimes our H sometimes will be in the slot, but strong tackle and Y, they are always gap down backer and they're working together. Same steps, no matter whether we're in rocket, laser, duo, trio. We've got to teach these 2 kids how to down block. Okay?
From a personnel standpoint, your strong tackle is your biggest kid usually, right? So he's a big kid, a kid that he just has to down block and base in our offense. He has to basically do 2 things and learn how to do both of them perfectly. And so for us, he's our biggest kid. And he doesn't move well, but he'll be fantastic at what he does.
Yeah, so this kid doesn't move great, alright, but we're gonna teach him 2 blocks, and he's just gotta be perfect with those 2 blocks, okay? Your strong guard is gonna be a bigger kid that's physical, alright, but he's still gotta be able to move well enough to pull and kick. Your center, okay, can be your worst lineman. Alright, truly. And I know that's kind of weird saying that, alright, but in the past we've kind of always done that, and it works, okay? He has 1 block to learn. He's on, he's on, or, I'm sorry, on to down, okay? And whether we're running buck or belly, he's got 1 block in the whole system. And he's either on the 0 or he's down on the backside one technique, okay? And so he just can't get his butt kicked, okay? He's gotta be able to stop the ball, and he can't get his butt kicked, okay? This quick guard's your best athlete and your best lineman. Alright, so this kid has to pull and reach. He's gonna have to pull and wrap pull and wrap. He's gonna have to pull and wrap on belly as well. He's gotta have more tools in his bag. He's got a down, he's got a base, he's got a pull and wrap, he's gonna sometimes have to pull and kick. Okay, and so he's your best lineman there. Your quick tackle, he's just gotta be quick. Okay, he's a skinny kid. Alright, so for us, we're looking at, that kid's probably 195 pounds. And because all he has to do is he's got to scoop on buck. When we get to belly, he's got a base or scoop again, but he'll base. And then on jet, this is where he really gets into like his job. His job on jet will be to reach. And so if we can get a clean reach on jet, we can really marry buck, belly, and jet together. Okay. Any questions on buck? Is that all right?
Can you show the blocking assignment online for a 4-man front?
Yeah, I can.
This is, Chad, this is what you guys are gonna be seeing most of the time, because at the 3rd and 4th grade level, you can't play heads up on center. So you're gonna see a lot of 4-man fronts.
So they typically get 3 in 1 technique?
Yeah.
3 technique and 1 technique.
You want
Are you
a
gonna wanna
formation
pull
or
2
rocket
people?
laser?
Sorry? Yes, we are. We're gonna try to pull
Okay.
2 people at every level.
Okay.
You wanna go laser still? Is that gonna be our base formation kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, so last formation was rocket, so we'll put the strong side to the right. Now we're on laser, so we're gonna put the strong side on the left, okay? So your strong tackle's here, strong guard, quick tackle, Y, H, Q, T, C, X, alright? So you're gonna get a 9, 3, 1, 6, backer, kinda like that?
Yeah.
You'll usually have 1 on both
Or you're gonna
D
get,
tackles.
you might not get a true, I guess you might not get a true Mike, you're gonna get something that looks like a true.
4-4 stack.
4-4
So you
stack.
guys are getting-
No, you won't have anything in the A gaps. They have
So it'll be
to,
a three
really?
technique.
yeah,
Double
they'll have to
threes.
line up
Okay.
over guard.
No, you
out
can line
complete.
up in the gap.
No, you cannot line up in the
You can line
gap.
up in the gap.
This year,
Not Nick.
You always have.
you could not.
You just couldn't line up over center.
Dude, I'm telling you right now,
Or you
you
can shoot
could
the
not
gap.
line up in the gap
You
last
can
year.
be straight over the guards, not
So you get twos,
Yeah, you were face on the guard and they'd shoot the A gap.
Head up, okay.
so you get a two.
JV.
Yeah,
JV
so-
can't have a nose. They protect the
Yeah,
center.
maybe double twos.
Double twos,
Yeah.
kind of. Gosh.
You can in our grade, not in ours.
Yeah, but on Thursday.
Okay, anyways.
No,
I might be spending a couple of years since I was shooting.
no,
So,
you had to be on
from
I
this
know you
on the
can
nose of the
shoot,
guard.
you can shoot A.
The rules never change. Your gap down backer on the strong side, okay? So this guy, he doesn't technically have anybody in his gap, so he's gonna go to his down, right? So he's gonna end up taking the two tech over or whatever it may be. He's gonna be on the same tracks. He's working up. If this is a 9 tech here, this guy will down him. Okay, obviously, you guys get, I mean, if you give him a tight end wing, is it a 9 tech or is he gonna be all the way out here trying to set the edge like?
No, they normally pull their corner or their mic
down
more
here?
farther over, yeah.
Okay, alright, so we'll down.
So they're not forcing with their DMs.
Not
Like, their
usually,
force player's
no.
gonna be one of those backers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some teams, so when we play PFC, you will see their defensive ends playing more out in the 9 area, but
Yeah.
when we play like majority of other teams, they're gonna bring out their outside linebackers and corners up to the ball.
Okay, just once you identify the force player,
Then you know
then
you
you know who the guy is you're kicking. So once you identify him, then that simplifies everything.
But same rules, right? So nothing, and we really don't tell these kids that they have a specific guy, okay? They run their tracks, right? So it's a flat step, 45 is the second, and then you're on your track. The first wrong color that you see is your down guy, okay? And so we don't want our kids thinking too much of, oh, I've got, I have to work here, and so, my tight end doesn't have anybody to block. So what we will get is kids will get confused. They won't have anybody in their gap, and so they won't figure out like, oh, I can move up. We just tell them, hey, run your tracks. Okay, eventually you'll get to the point where somebody's going to cross your face, and that's your down guy. Okay, so we're gap down backer there. He's a pull kick guy. Okay, if this guy's getting down, he's actually going to work all the way up. Okay, so this is a good example of if nobody shows, he's turning the corner and we're working up. Okay. He's on down, so he's gonna be a down here. He's pull wrap. That turns into a base there. We're hitting the C gap there. Okay?
And we've got an RPO on the backside.
We will never block this kid, and I coach corners, so I'm allowed to say this. Corners don't tackle, and we don't block corners. Okay? So they're scared to death. There's a reason why they play that, and we never block a corner. Not on buck, not on belly. Sometimes on jet, just in case, okay? But if he's making a play in the C gap, then I've got to figure out, okay, now I got to go Y or H pop. Like, that's on me as a coordinator. If a corner's making a play on buck, then that's my fault, right? And so we don't block corners, we'll leave them out there, okay? From a tailback standpoint, it's gonna be a 3-step process, okay? So he's gonna be flat, okay, across the quarterback's face. The quarterback's just taking a quick little 6-inch, he's just hopping off the midline here, okay? So it's here, boom, and he's gonna ride back hip to front hip. The tailback's 1, 2, 3. He cuts off his outside foot. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. He's finding the back hip of the quick guard, and we make him grab it. Okay, he's grabbing his quick guard, his jersey, and they're going through the C gap together. Okay? And wherever he needs that quick guard to go, he's throwing them there. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So this is why personnel is going to be really, really important. So like traditionally, you want your bigger guys, but like what they're saying is our quick guards, they're going to be more like tight ends, wide receivers, right? They're not going to be our traditional linemen. At our level, we're looking at speed kills. It's really what we're looking at, right? So by the time that they get older and their body translates, you don't know what kid's going to be what when we're older, but as long as we're teaching them tendencies, we'll be all right. But at our level, speed kills, right? So we're going to be using that in our benefit. So I would like to see a double pulling guard, Not everybody can do that, but with the numbers what we have this year, we should be able to do it. It's going to be growing pains, right? So I'm not looking at winning championships. I'm looking at installing this. The group of kids that you guys have, chances are you're going to be following them up, right? So use the 3rd and 4th grade ages just for the learning curve, and then your money years are 4th and 5th, or 5th and 6th grade, right? I'm not going to hold any grudges if you win one game a year. I mean, I'm struggling to go 500 my entire career here at Northwestern. That's why we're here right now. So personnel, especially at the quick guard spot, is going to be extremely important this year.
And truly, I mean, there might be a learning curve, but think about it, guys. If you're running rocket, laser, and you're just running buck, because if you get this front, and you don't run buck 40 times a game, then that's your fault, okay, in my opinion, okay? But this guy is doing the same exact thing on every single time we call buck, right? Every single kid, all they have to understand is, okay, buck, I'm down block, or buck, I'm pulling around, right? It's not zone, it's not, anything too complicated where they have to even remember a bunch of different things, different checks or anything like that. They're doing the exact same thing. So if we start this on day one, we run rocket and laser. Middle school wise this year, our first scrimmage, we're running rocket and laser, and if we call anything other than buck, I'll be surprised. We're gonna run 4 quarters of buck, because that's our football play, and we're gonna figure it out.
And remember that you've got Q-Buck in your pocket as well, right? It's not just a
Yes.
tailback.
So are you actually flipping personnel from rocket to laser?
Yep.
Yeah, so they go to one side, the
Strong
other goes
side.
to the other, yeah.
Yep.
Vanderbilt, I don't know if you watched.
You think varsity can get
Vanderbilt, but
that?
they do that.
line?
And yes,
I really believe
they
that.
Yeah, I
do
just didn't know, I didn't know if
We'll
you were
just
gonna
have to-
be,
Are you gonna try to?
Yeah.
like, actually moving the
We want
I
kid.
don't know,
that
we'll
kid.
see. We'll see what they can
So
do.
we want that strong tackle to have to do one thing.
He's gonna be the strong tackle route.
No matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, he just knows I'm gap down backer no matter where I'm at.
Yeah, we want defenses to know that,
Yeah,
because when they walk out there, if they overload one side, then we're gonna run belly to the other side, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
so that's kind of the whole concept of
That's
Told
what
you.
You know
Told
what we're
you.
doing.
I told you.
love it.
I told you were gonna like it.
Since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ran it all through semi-pro.
Well, we try to do zone with our
There's a
guys.
reason why it's rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and-
Well, I ran mine in a different formation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mine was crossbuck, so wishbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but at the young age, and then as I got into the older kids, it spread out almost exactly what you had.
Yeah. I think with our personnel, this gives us a chance to win the whole team. Okay? This puts our kids in the best possible situation with kind of our personnel, and the way that we shape up in the weight room and things of that nature too. Okay.
Tell them about the RPO real quick, just
Yeah.
real
So
quick.
obviously this might be more of a 5th, 6th grade thing, but I'm not sure. I don't know what your personnel is.
I
But
think you might be able to run it.
we can't account.
You got smart kids.
We can't account for this cat right here, okay? In the past, right, we would scoop this guy up and we would read that guy, right? But the more and more that read option kind of goes away, it breaks my heart, but read option's kind of, it's easily defended now, okay? People have figured it out. So we're gonna base him and we're gonna key it on the backside. This is a peak RPO, but we call it key, mainly because it's an easy signal. But we can't account for that guy, so our quarterback's gonna account for the extra hat, and we're gonna run a 1-step slant here, attacking his back pocket, right, and then follow it up with a 5-yard dig, right? And so if you get country cover 3 or whatever it may be that you got, and it looks kind of like that, if he splits the difference, right, he's gonna end up attacking that back pocket. If this guy sees this pulling guard and he fits, we're gonna pull and replace. It's a 5-yard throw. It's really, really simple completion. And it puts this guy, who oftentimes at our level, like the high school level, this is their best athlete typically, right? This is the guy that's their strong safety that either plays, with his heels at 12 or gets into the box really quickly here. So we'll play games with that guy and really slow his pace down. That way they can't outnumber us in blocks on the backside either.
Chad, an easy way that you could run this at your level is just call it. Just call it the pass play as it is. Run it like a fake, like a play action, and then just fire that quick slant. Because chances are, just have your quarterback, whoever it is, read that linebacker. If he crashes down, you got your slot wide open. If he follows the slot, you got your dig coming across. So you don't have to call it an RPO. We can dumb it down to the point where that's just a pass play.
Just call it pass play.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way, when they
Most
come
high schools
up,
do that.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
there's not a lot of people in their right mind that trust a 16-year-old to make decisions on Friday night, but I do, so
yeah.
that's just what it is.
But that way they're seeing it. You know what I mean? That they're just getting that feel of having that play action and then that drawback. 'Cause
That's
we
where
worked on it a lot last
relationship
year.
comes in,
It
feel
worked
like
pretty
you were
well.
saying
So
at the beginning, that a relationship that you have with the individual kids, and some I learned over years of doing it with those kids love you. Man, they'll do. I'm telling you, these kids will know and understand this way better than what all of you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
They just gotta love you,
but
and then they're gonna pay attention to
the
everything.
big thing is that as we're coming together, we don't have to make playbooks now, right? We have our base. This is it. I get it. It's not always going to work for our packages, but when it comes down to it, if you just bring it together more for like a short yardage package, we could run out of that and you could run the exact same things, right? So like I get it. Like you guys aren't going to want to be that spread, but you just bring your slot into tight ends and then just bring your two right on the outside of it. Boom, you're in a wishbone, right? It's the same thing.
Bring your Z in from the slot, you're in the wing team.
Yeah, wing T.
Basically what you're.
That's right.
That's
And if you
exactly
go
what it
wing
is.
wishbone, Then you're just running crossbow.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It's definitely, it's definitely changeable to your guys' levels.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is, as long as we're doing what we need to up front and with our backers, I don't care where your wide receivers and your tight end are going to be located at. Whatever works for you guys. If you can get to this point, awesome. If not, we totally understand it. As long as the terminology, play style is the same, that's it. Everyone wants to win ball games. I want to win ball games too. So if you need to crush it down a little bit, awesome. I'm all about it.
So, real quick, okay, that's Buck. We actually block Buck and Belly on Jet as well. So we'll false key it, believe it or not, and we haven't done this yet actually, believe it or not. This is something that we're kind of getting into and I really like is in order to put obviously your backers in conflict. If there's, I talked to our guys when we're calling plays, so obviously you start with the box. You gotta identify bubbles and flanks. Okay, bubbles are basically gaps that are open. Flanks are basically, obviously, the edges that are open. And it can be as simple as that, right? If I see a bubble in the C gap, we're gonna call Buck. If I see a bubble in the A or B gap, we're gonna call Belly. If there's a flank like this, okay, I got a 6-tech, and I got a stack here, and I see a flank here, we're gonna call Buck, and then we're gonna tag Jet next to it. Okay, and we'll run H-Jet. So we'll actually run Buck this way. We'll tag it. Okay, so our jet tags for us are horse and zebra. That's H and Z jet for us. So we'll run Buck this way. If this cat hears horse or zebra, he knows he's got to reach instead of base now. Okay, so he'll base. We're a crack team. Right, so we'll crack. We'll kick the corner with our tailback, and we'll run jet that way. So everybody on the field, if these guys are disciplined at all, and obviously at your level, obviously I don't know what that looks like. They might just follow people, but if they're reading their guards, okay, or their cylinders, they should see Buck this way and Phil right now. And so that should give us numbers on the opposite side. If they don't, then that gives us all the more reason to then run the jet and then give Buck the opposite way, or keep it with Cuba. Right, and that's kind of how we marry those two ideas together. Zebra would just be the opposite way, but obviously with the overhang here, we don't want to run jet that way. Any questions on kind of how that marries? And you can really call belly, and how that would sound, it'd be laser, Buck, strong, horse. And so everybody that hears horse, they know that's just a check or an adjustment that we're making in the play call. And then that's, everybody else is running Buck strong. We're just gonna run horse out the back door.
And the O-lineman, all they have to hear is just 2 words. They hear Buck strong, they can shut their ears off right after that. Right, and then so everything else to them, they just need to be taught that Buck strong. And that's all I gotta do, we run Buck strong.
Chuck, do you think you guys will get into belly or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Alright, I'll be real quick with this one. So, out of rocket laser. And we'll go with that same sort of font that you gave me, cause it's gonna be, this one might match up a little bit more interesting. Alright, so, from a, if we're in rocket, from a belly standpoint, again, we're rule based. Alright, so I'm a big believer in, if you just give kids a couple of rules to follow, their execution gets a lot more clear, right? And so, if we can just, from a system standpoint, if we can structure it where they understand the rules that they're following on that play, they can then execute. So, from a belly standpoint, if we're running belly strong, belly's the only football play